Hello, beautiful souls. It's Brandy from Venus and Retro Tarot. Happy solstice, happy Cancer season. Hope everybody is doing well after that solar eclipse. I can tell you I am super tired, but this past week we had a double week. So how's everybody feeling? I think I survived it. And tomorrow, I'm recording this on Saturday night, but Sunday, our week ahead is ruled by death. So it's all about transformation. And actually, at the beginning of our Justice Month here in June, we had a death week. We didn't do a week ahead video because we did the month ahead spread. And that'll be the same thing next week, since we'll be moving into July. Rather than doing a week ahead, I'll be doing the month ahead for July. But so we've been through a death week already at the very beginning of this month, and now we're cycling back into it. And I hope by now, if you've been watching me and follow me every week, you can kind of see how this spiral works, right? We're cycling through weekly. Sometimes we'll have that theme come up. We had 2 devil weeks that were spaced out about 2 or 3 weeks apart, and now here we are. We just had death a couple weeks ago and we're doing it again. So we're really being called into that transformational energy, and we're in that Justice Month. So transformation and alignment. Transformation, and what does justice look like for me? Transformation of the collective, and what does collective justice, what does that reckoning look like? So we're doing that again this week, and with that in mind, we're going to do the week ahead spread that we did a couple weeks ago when we had the star as our beacon card. So I'm using my Moonchild deck this week, and I love this death card because it really talks about the metamorphosis. We see the snake, we see the moth, we see a figure that's posed in surrender, we see the butterfly. Like, these are all figures that go through a massive transformation, and they come out of things different than they were before. So it's really what we're thinking about this week. So with death being our beacon card, we're still going to have an overall theme of what death means. So our overall energy this week is the 3 of Cups. So the 3 of Cups, and I really love the way that I learned about this in Tarot for the Wild Soul, that it not only is about being in community with people who really we can share our heart with, right? It's not just that. Because that can be so healing, right? If we're, we've been in isolation for so long, there are so many kinds of ways to connect. It doesn't just mean face to face. And, a lot of that is going on with protests as well. I've watched some videos where, people are dancing, there were just, there were cookouts and stuff for Juneteenth. Happy belated Juneteenth. But really being in community with people, and it doesn't have to always be face-to-face. I've met some of my best friends right now, online through the Rootlock Tarot group, through Tarot for the Wild Soul, through being on Instagram and meeting some of you beautiful people who have, really started connecting with me. And I love it so much. That's very 3 of Cups. But beyond that, it's the kind of healing that our ancestors never got to do. Right? So, every little bit of joy that we can pull out of, any moment, any, even in the midst of all this chaos and, the pain that's going on. One thing that I learned about 10 of Cups from Lindsay's class is, the rainbow in the card, it doesn't last. So it's really about that joy in the moment, like seizing those opportunities when we can find them, right? So, that's very 3 of Cups too. Three is expansive energy. So, we're learning how to, from that invitation in the Ace of Cups, to get the opportunity to really make friends with ourselves. And then in the 2 of Cups, really, reflecting inward, and then also maybe seeing ourselves through another, it's kind of like the Lover's card. In the 3, we're really sharing that, and it's not always an outward expression. You can do 3 of Cups all by yourself, because all of your ancestors are with you. All of your spirit team is with you. And, the ones that came before us, they received deep healing from that. And then the ones that come after us, we're healing those wounds for our future as well. So that's a great transformational energy. And that's the overall theme of this week. So, how is your connection with self? How's your connection with your community? How's your connection with your blood family, your chosen family, whatever that may be? Like, how is that transforming you? How is that transforming the collective? How is that transforming the world? How are you moving through the world in a way that is healing for your ancestral line? So that's something to really think about. And then our next card is our grounding card. So I can tell you right away that we had the Ace of Pentacles come up a few times this week, and it's not in this placement, but it's in this spread. But we have 2 aces here. So these are seeds that we're planting, seeds that we're receiving. So our grounding energy is the Ace of Wands in reverse. And what this says is the Ace of Wands. Wands are fire, right? So the ace is the spark. Kind of like Aries. Aries are like the baby fire, and then, the Leos are like the flame that's smoldering, and Sag is expansive, that Jupiter energy. It's all consuming. It's that big flame. So the Ace of Wands I think of as like, it's just the spark. So it's calling us to be aware of, especially since we're moving into Cancer season and there's a lot of water going on. Mercury retrograde's happening. We're in retrograde season, right? So how can we tend to this flame to keep it from going out in all of this water energy? Because we still need it, right? We're fighting a lot of battles. And there's a lot to be done. There's a lot to overcome, and we still need that fire. Like, all elements are good. They're part of us, and we need them. They're there for a reason. So, in the reverse, it's telling me, like, be very mindful of the way that you use your energy, because sometimes we might use it too much or not enough. Like, we might need to conserve, and at times, conservation isn't the right move, and we might need to use some of that energy. So, in the reverse, it's just really saying, pay attention to that, how you're using that spark. Like, are you tending it to grow it, or are you doing things that kind of dampen it and put it out, right? So that's your grounding, is just think about your energy and how it flows through you and how you're going to use it. And what we're reflecting on this week, we have another reversal. We have the 4 of Pentacles in reverse. So the 4 of Pentacles, and I'm gonna keep saying Lindsay's name because she's brilliant, and I owe a lot of what I've learned lately to her course. The 4 of Pentacles isn't about being miserly or that you're, stingy and you're not spending your money. Like, 4s are a container, and they're also boundaries. So we're in an Emperor year, which is also a 4 year. So, it's a lot of boundary work that we're doing and a lot of foundational work that we're doing. But this card is about body boundaries, right? So, who can be in my space and who can't? Who's safe for me and who's not? What do I want to do with my body and what don't I? So this is all about discernment of, we have the Ace of Wands in reverse, as our grounding energy, how we're using our energy, but also how we're tending to our bodies, right? And who we're allowing into our bodies or into our space or any, whatever that means to you. I mean, not everybody, people are asexual, aromantic. Take what applies to you there, but just really being mindful of what your body needs and the boundaries that it's telling you as well, because we're reflecting, like, what's your body saying to you in any given moment, and are you ignoring it in the reverse? Or are you going to really pay attention? Because our body speaks to us all the time. It's always communicating information about, what, if we have a headache, or, if our heart's beating fast, if we're breathing really labored. This is feedback that the body's giving us that the mind might try to ignore, right? So really pay attention to that this week. Because transformation, it should, grow us. But it can, we can transform in negative ways, right? Like, it's not all transformation is good. We want it to be the highest vibration of transformation that we can make it. So just really, really keep that in mind. And then what we're being called to release this week is the Eight of Wands in reverse. So this is definitely like a red light, flashing red light. Like, how are you using your energy? Because the Eight of Wands is like fast moving energy. In the reverse, it might be scattered energy, right? Like, we don't know where we're going, and we're kind of burning the candle at both ends, or we're just throwing wands everywhere and we don't know what the hell is going on, right? So really, really pull back a little bit. If you feel like you're scattering your energy, to the wind, and you can't make heads or tails of, what you're doing in any given moment, you're like, I was just doing this, and then I walked into another room, and where was I going? Like, we don't want to be doing that this week. You really want to be present. Like, what activities can you do that bring you back to your center, so that, you don't have energy coming at you from other people that you can't deal with, right? That's Four of Pentacles too. Like, what are those boundaries that you need to put up when people come at you with energy that you're not cool with? Like, you really need to be able to handle that. So that's what that Eight of Wands is saying. Like, if you're releasing that, like, really embracing the way that you can harness this ace, okay? And how this ace can ground you. Like, maybe you don't need 8 wands. Maybe you just need to tend to 1. Okay, so that's what I see for release. And then what we're embracing is the Ace of Pentacles. And we've gotten this card twice this week in my dailies. So, it's really important that we're looking at, with this Emperor year, this foundation that we're building, that this is the seed. This is the seed, and this is the spark, okay? So where are you planting your seed? Where do you want to plant it? And are you planting it in the most fertile soil that you can? Is your foundation secure? Does it have a lot of debris? Does it need some clearing out? How are you tending to yourself, and how are you tending to your responsibilities and, the people around you? Like, are you showing up for them? Are they showing up for you? Because all of these things affect our harvest, right? Because by the time we get to the Ten of Pentacles, we're harvesting the hard work of that ace. Like, this is slow energy. It's meant to feed us for years to come. And, we're meant to reap the rewards of this fruit, and we're meant to share it. So really think about that this week, and that's the spread. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull a Starseed Oracle and read from out of the book to see what our message is, okay? And I decided on a change of scenery. We're going to start filming in my dining room rather than in my bedroom. So that's why I'm filming this on Saturday, because my kids are in bed and I won't be interrupted. So now I can just sit at the table instead of being on the floor constantly, which gets really annoying after a while. So let's see what we have here. I'm gonna get a jumper. Oh, there we go. Let's see what we have here. All right, activated earth. Power places, ley lines, trust where you're led. Okay, so let's find that in the book and let's read what it has to say. Here, let me hold it up so you can see it. I love the artwork on these cards. It's beautiful. So here we go. All right. Ley lines are invisible pathways on the land along which energy travels. They can be sensed when we tune into them with our subtle senses. Also known as spirit paths, they've been compared to the meridian system of the body used in Chinese medicine, and they link sacred sites, stone circles, burial mounds, and places of worship worldwide. In Australian Aboriginal culture, song lines were the paths traveled by the creator beings as they made the land and sea during the dreaming. These paths were recorded in the traditional songs and dances of the people, allowing them to access information about the land's history and to travel safely across great distances. Many believe that as we visit such sacred sites on earth, something is activated within us. Okay, so activation, transformation. Some also believe that by connecting with the land with devotion at these sacred places, something is activated within the planet too. Are you being called to travel to a sacred place that your soul remembers, or to tend the land you live on, to honor and acknowledge the known and unknown keepers of nature's spirits of the land? As you connect with the earth and honor its keepers, the land opens up more fully to hold you. The fruits provide more nourishment, and the guardians watch over you. Okay, so that is our message this week. I hope you're all doing well, and I will be putting out daily messages. I know if you noticed, I am only doing one question a day because it was really eating up my energy, and I want to be able to show up for you guys. So I will still be doing daily polls and putting them on my Instagram feed, but it'll only be one card. And I hope that that's okay. I mean, either way, it's okay because that's what I'm going to do. But I hope that you guys have a great week, and I will see you soon. Bye.